So I got this book here, Saved by a Demon. That time I got drunk and saved a demon, kind of as a joke-ish book, because it just sounded silly, and it kind of was. It was a really, really silly book to read. So, just some quick stuff. It's written by Kimberly Lemming. It's the first book in the Meat Mishap. She's written a lot of other books. That's about it. I don't know. I went into this book not expecting a lot, so that's awesome in a way. I don't know what I expected when I picked it up, other than I thought it was going to be a silly book. It's the first book I ever read with a content warning, though. One step up. There you go, content warning. I don't quite agree with all of it, but it's fine. I don't care. There's of course a map, which did actually surprise me. So let's talk about the actual book, and I'm just gonna take it all in one go because it's such a short story. I went in with zero expectations, said multiple times, and my very first thing were this story is like the start really surprised me. Like going in with no expectation, yet still getting surprised is a heck of an experience. So the book uses words like sus and cringe, and it's really, really weird when you're reading a fantasy book that you hear stuff like modern internet slang. It's fine in a way, because you could argue it's the same as any slang, really, and so I just wasn't expecting it. And of course there's a lot of puns in this name, like the naming conventions are borderlining kind of lazy, because the main character is Cinna. I think her like shortened name is Cinnamon. Her brother is Chili and Cumin or whatever. Like they're all named after spices because they're a spice farm. I think her name's actually, and then her best friend is called Brie because she's cheese seller. Like it's kind of lazy in a way for naming. At least to me, and the book even highlights it. It goes here when we get reintroduced that, oh yeah, of course the cheese seller's name is Brie, haha, isn't that quirky, isn't it fun? And it's kind of boring in a way, almost. It's almost making it predictable. Now, the actual story, like shortly summarized, is Cinna. I honestly, I think that's her name. Yeah, Sin, they call her Sin. Sin is going home from this giant festival where heroes to the goddesses heroes are chosen. She's not chosen, she's drunk. She saves a person that looks to be drunk dead. Oh no, it's a demon that tries to kill her. She escapes, loses it in the cinnamon mage, that's basically their farm, and stays the night there. The next morning she tries to convince her family that it's real until the demon actually shows up and is very much a gentleman-esque in the most... I want to make a white girl joke saying it's the most white girl, but it's more like it's just the most like it's fantasy romance gentleman style, like an asshole but knows it and are using it to still seem like a gentleman in a way, like trying to use the asshole charm, and it's fine. It works, I suppose. And then they go on a mission to first he has to prove that the goddess is evil. They do that by smashing a cup, and then they have to smash 3 more cups. Classic adventure story. And really the story is not much to talk about, but where Kimberly Lemming, the author, is doing a really great job is in her dialogue. Her characters are very, very funny. I don't know about the romance part. I think the romance part is fine. It's a little fast, but again, it's a short read. It's 260 pages, so you can't really expect a slow burn romance. It's non-stop, go, 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 sexual reference, sex, and so on. But what's funny is the chemistry in the jokes and the conversations. He's doing a really good job at establishing roles in a relationship, and it's genuinely fun to read. And there's a lot of characters in this book. Some would say a little too many, and I am kind of tilting towards that. I think there's a bit more than there probably should be, but I think overall it's fine. It's like it just gets a little confusing because everything's going so fast. But all for Lemmings, like to praise her a bit more, she does a good job of making sure no one feels like the same. All of them are just a bit in the stereotypical end. Like we have this tavern owner turning ship captain girl boss lady, and she's cool, she's fun, but it's just she feels in the motherly girl boss role that the story needs. We have the sassy female centaur. I'm pretty sure the werewolf is gay. It's kind of checking the boxes, and that's both good and bad. Now talking about the romance part and the characterization, the two main characters are fine. I guess fine is a good word. They're funny together, they have a lot of chemistry going, but they're not unique. They don't feel like you're doing anything with them. Like, honestly, the name of the dragon skipped me. Isn't it somewhere he calls her rabbit, by the way. Which is, I suppose, is fine. Like, because she's scared easily. Yeah, I guess. Then at some point he starts calling her sin, and then goes back to calls her love, I think. But yeah. But it's funny though. I mean, I guess, but yeah, let's stick to that part. The two characters are great, they're funny, you will enjoy it. I had a lot of fun reading their banter. Not as much the romance banter, but the friendship banter. And I think Lemming does a pretty good job at making sure that we have some non-romance banter. Even though it later revealed that the dragon, the demon is a dragon. From day one we're like, yeah, I am gonna tap that. So, I don't know. Talking about tapping things, the sex scenes are fine. There's a bit of content warning for BDSM and dubious consent. I didn't feel like there was any dubious consent. I actually felt like it was pure consensual all the way through. But that might be how I read it, and it's always better to be on the safe side with stuff like that, I guess. They were fine. They were not anything extraordinarily. It wasn't like she was reinventing the erotica part. It was just there. You could have fade to black. It adds the same amount to the story. I guess adding in this spice is it's kind of what expected in a way. It's what a lot of romance fantasy readers really want. So, and I actually saw a good argument for that. You actually find it in a lot of male-written fantasy books that are not necessarily romance. And to an extent, I agree. There are a lot that does it. Also, a lot just fades to black, and I feel the same here. For me, it's more just a focus on. I feel like there's a lot of focus on the sex scenes here being a pulling point, due to just how much space they take in this tiny book. But I mean, really, I don't know what to say. It's a short book. It was an easy read. It doesn't reinvent anything. It's funny, I guess. It's really, really funny, and I can't stop highlighting that. It's at times a little too fast for itself. I do really want to know what the dragon called. I don't remember. It's Fallon. His name is Fallon. Is that a reference to a phallus, like a penis? Or is it something else? Or is it like fallen? Because he's fallen for her. It might be both. It might honestly be both. Knowing this book, it could be both. What I'm glad, though, that Lemming didn't do was she didn't make it into a harem or anything like that. It wasn't so everyone just fell in love with Cinnamon or Sin. It was more like just people who weren't the love interest were just friends. And that was great fun. And I also loved the way she handled all the different types of demon. I thought it was really funny, it was different. And I mean, she did a wonderful job. It was so fun. And then we have my weirdest part of the story, and that is the when she talked with the next big city they came to, I think we should be able to find it kind of on the map here. Wondermere, where the entire thing about the city is they have enslaved demons and are using them as slaves, and werewolves they are skinning to get their fur and all that stuff. And it's because the demons here are, like by magic, are instead of go enraged like they are in her place, they are timid and mindless. And she finds out that Cinnamon, of course, her name, but the spy Cinnamon saves them. Never explained why, it doesn't really matter either. And then she starts saving demons, and it's actually quite fun. The entire thing ends with a huge fight scene where they basically ruin the city to save all the demons. That was great fun. I had a lot of fun with that. So, to conclude this rambly short review here, should you read this book? If you were into Romantasy, I suppose this is a fun little goofy read. If you want, like me, not really into the genre, but want to try and dabble in it, I also think this is fine. If you're not interested in Romantasy, I don't think this one will be for you, because the focus is the romance. It actually does do a pretty good job at romance and fantasy. But you really need to care about the romance for the book to not just be a waste of your time. I thought it was funny, I thought it was really good. I kind of want to read more of them, just because Lemming has an outstanding sense of humor, and I want more of that. So yeah, what do you think? Have you read it? Will you read it? Leave a like, comment, and subscribe.